Hey cats, it's your midsole man EDDBUD here. I've had loads of requests for some more detailed comparisons on the Nike Vomero Plus, a shoe that's full of cushion but perhaps lacking a little bit in innovation. Up against this ZoomX behemoth we've got the following: the Puma MAGMAX, Old Faithful the ASICS SUPERBLAST 2, and the Brooks Glycerin Max. All shoes with similar stacks and similar specs. Let's get to it. Thanks for joining me on the channel. It is always appreciated. Do hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, like too. Drop us a comment to help with that YouTube algorithm. Dankeschön. Stats first. On the screen in Tim Gross style with the spreadsheet. All these are in a UK size 11. You will note that the Vomero Plus comes in as the cheapest shoe all round. Also the second lightest behind the Superblast, though there's over an ounce difference between those two in favour of the ASICS shoe. So in my UK 11 here, we've got considerable increases over the sample size midsole stack. All of them are between about 46 to 48 mil for my size. Pretty much all of these measure 40 mil in the forefoot for me at least. Similar widths to the forefoot areas too, with the Puma being the widest and the Glycerin Max being the narrowest in the heel. So first comparison, the Vomero Plus up against the Puma MAGMAX. Now the first striking thing about this shoe is actually the width in the forefoot. It is quite considerable. I think it's one of the widest shoes that I've tested out on the channel. It did make me realise as well just how much the Vomero Plus does taper in on the lateral medial side of the toe box. Puma often get unfairly accused of that, and as you can see here, it isn't quite that situation on the medial side of the MAGMAX. It's almost like a torpedo actually, the Vomero Plus. You can really see that taper there. So if you like a bit of toe box room, the MAGMAX might be a better bet for you. The MAGMAX though is a slightly heavier shoe over the Nike this time. Does feel a little bit more stable though, I would suggest, in terms of consistency underfoot, and of course you've got that wider base and much greater surface area. The midsole foam is a touch softer in the Nike with that ZoomX material. A lot of people have suggested that I'm wrong in that it's the same ZoomX as per perhaps the Invincible run before. It feels very, very similar to me. Maybe they've changed it up. Maybe it is an ATPU version or something, but I can't see them moving to that and calling it ZoomX like the same old stuff as usual. Nike would be on the case with some sort of new technology, a new name, so I really don't think that's the case. It's certainly a touch bouncier than the nitro foam that we have here in the MAGMAX. The Puma grip on the outsole is no doubt more durable than what we've got here in the Nike. I'm already seeing some early wear in the heel and the forefoot as well. Nike rubber just isn't as hardy as some of the other manufacturers. Certainly up against Puma grip, that's a bit of a tough ask. Though with running shoes, I think a lot of people's choices are very much shaped by the midsole feel. How is the ride? I do prefer the Vomero Plus from that aspect. It's just a bit more bouncy, a bit more fun to run in, I think. A little bit more forgiving too, and I'd suggest it's a more versatile midsole than the MAGMAX. This one feels very much like it's locked in that easy to recovery type pace range for me, whereas the Nike has a little bit more to it. So if I could only take one pair with me to the running desert island, it would be the Vomero Plus this time, and it's a little bit cheaper as well. Up against the Superblast 2 this time. Now this one isn't anywhere near as bouncy or as soft as the Vomero Plus, but the forgiving nature of the foam here just means you get a bit of a boost in terms of enjoyment for me, and it's that little bit lighter as well. Feels more nimble on foot. It's a bit more engaging. I just found it a little bit easier to up the pace in the Superblast 2. You can go up through the gears just with a little bit more ease. It's not as bulky in terms of the upper materials here either. The tongue is a lot thinner, not anywhere near as padded. Just find it's a slightly more breathable shoe as well than Nike's Vomero Plus. We've got some very warm temperatures here in the UK at the moment, so it's been a good test of this one. It's been okay, but not a patch on the upper on the Superblast 2. And amazingly, they still keep the upper here quite traditional as well in terms of the heel counter. Vomero Plus is a more plush affair. There's a lot more padding in the tongue here. The thickness in the upper is a little bit more more noticeable, and you've got some much thicker, more chunky overlays. I mean, it's a good 40 grams difference here in favour of the ASICS shoe. Noticeable on foot, and it makes it a more capable running shoe, fills in more gaps or ticks more boxes in your shoe rotation. It's kind of that unicorn-like shoe where you can take it out for a long run and put in some faster paced intervals here and there, and it just works at pretty much any pace really. Absorbs the distance and keeps the legs feeling great. As such, I think it's very much down to how you intend to use the shoes or what you need from your shoe. If you need a plush cruiser and you're not really going to be running any sort of super fast miles in it, then the Vomero Plus might be great. It's quite a bit cheaper as well when you consider this is about 155 here in the UK. And you're just under 200 Earth credits for the ASICS SUPERBLAST 2. This one just fills in a few more roles, and I think perhaps if you need that long run shoe and something you can use for easy or recovery paced efforts, then this is a better bet. Perhaps if you're a slightly heavier built runner and you need that impact protection, the Vomero Plus might be better. I mean, no one's going to be running like all out mile repeats or something in this shoe. It's just too bulky for that. So on the running desert island, if I had to pick one, I think I'd probably go for the SUPERBLAST 2. Right, on to the last one. Last but by no means least, we've got the Glycerin Max from Brooks. This is certainly a more stable shoe than the Nike offering. Feels a touch denser in terms of that midsole foam underfoot, and it doesn't feature that very pronounced heel bevel that we've got here in the Nike. If you lean back when you're wearing this shoe, you kind of fall backwards. It's really quite an odd feeling. The upper feels a tad more traditional in terms of the setup. It's not quite as padded as the Nike. Quite like the wider laces as well. It really makes it quite easy to cinch up and get a good lockdown. There's a slightly more weighty feel from the Glycerin Max, around about 20 gram difference for my size. I would suggest it's a little bit more stable and consistent. If you're a heavier built runner, you might really like the impact protection that you have on offer here. It's quite considerable. Again though, I can't say this is quite the versatile shoe. Even the Vomero Plus has a little bit more range about it than the Glycerin Max. Very much mired in the easy to recovery pace kind of area. If you don't want that wobbly sort of feel underfoot, then I think this could be a better bet for you. The DNA tuned midsole here has two elements to it. There's like a quite soft shell really, and then an even softer material inside, but it lacks that sort of return to form that we have in the Zoom X in the Vomero Plus. So to be honest, for that purpose of like easy pace running, I'd pick the Vomero Plus over this one every time. Just a little bit more nimble. It doesn't feel like you've got quite as much shoe on foot. The apparent sort of drop and the foam here in Nike's new offering are really hitting the spot for me. I think if you want a shoe where you're just on your feet all day as well, this one could be ideal, though if you're working in retail they might not like you wearing this colorway. Interesting that the Brooks is a little bit narrower in the heel over the Vomero Plus. I didn't find that there was any major difference in stability if you like overtly heel strike. Outsole wise again though, the Brooks is the winner. Very little wear here whatsoever, with far more use. Early wear on the Vomero Plus. Perhaps it's something Nike can look into in the future, trying to switch up the rubber and get it in line with some of the other brands. They just don't appear to suffer anywhere near as bad as the swoosh. If I could only take one pair between these two to the running desert island, it would be the Vomero Plus this time. Just a quick bonus comparison, you know, if you're thinking about whether you should shell out the extra 20 Earth credits between like the Vomero 18 and the Plus, absolutely you should. This is by far the better shoe over its sort of cheaper counterpart. The midsole ride is like way better in the Vomero Plus in my opinion. This one just feels a bit sort of bulky and clunky, kind of makes you run slowly. This one feels like you can go up through the gears a little bit, and it's just a much more comfortable shoe on foot, nowhere near as built up in the upper. You haven't got all these like pointless suede bits on it and stuff, just not needed. I don't think the React X really does any favours to this shoe. Definitely shell out the extra 20 quid and get the Vomero Plus. Okay, hope you enjoyed my comparisons today. How have you found the Vomero Plus? Let the runners know down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. My daughter and I have been watching the film This Is Spinal Tap. Absolutely love it. Every time I watch it, it still really hits home. I've actually met a lot of people like the characters in the film. Some bizarre people and some really weird situations, but I've actually been there, and it is a bit like that from time to time. You end up going to these like really dodgy parties with record executives and stuff, and yeah, it makes you wonder whether they actually really like music or not. Half the time I don't think they do. I'm quite happy just like chatting guitars and stuff. That's where it's at. Anyway, go and check out the original version of Stonehenge, not like the new one they've put out. Much, much better. I love the guitars on this one. Some bizarre intro sections too. I love the spoken word part, and I don't live all that far from Stonehenge as well, so it always makes me laugh, you know, that there were possibly druids up there, or I imagine Spinal Tap being, you know, around Stonehenge performing the track with their druid outfits on. That'd be cool. Really excited that there's a new film coming out. Hopefully it will be just as good as the first one. Bit of a classic. Go and check it out. Stonehenge by Spinal Tap. Thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed my video today. If you're yet to do so, hit that subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up, like, and drop us a comment for the algorithm. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you